Hello, hello, my magical friends. It is 4 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, time for our TLC, Tuesday Live Chat with me, Dr. Andy. I didn't find a Christmas theme, but I found some snow. And it had a pretty nice filter on it, so thought we'll throw that up for today. So thank you for tuning in. We are just a few days before Christmas. How does the longest year ever seem to go by so fast? It is an amazing question, huh? So I wanted to start with what's up in your worlds. Yes. What would you like to share, Samuel? Okay, let's see. How does the filter work when you put a cat in there? Oh, there's a Sam. You gonna say hi? Huh? Okay, he's done with me. What are you up to, buddy? What would you like the world to know? So, what is up, my friends? We'd love to hear from you if you have any specific questions about animals, your animals. What I have been noticing around my house is, and it's subtle, it's really, really subtle. I am very grateful that I really know my animals, so it's the subtle stuff that I pick up on. And the Doberman is definitely a bit more what I call starey. He's a little more interested in protecting his food. He's a little more, want to make sure he has his coat on, which could be he doesn't have a lot of hair or fur. Speaking of fur, excuse me, and or for those of you that are familiar, there's thunder shirts on the market that squeeze, that hugs the animals, and it tends to reduce the anxiety. So I do think the coat contributes to that for him, but I did notice his anxiety's up a little bit. For a big bad Doberman, he is definitely sensitive, as we would call sensitive. What if he's actually just aware? And the world is a little worked up right now. So what is he aware of? What are you aware of that if you acknowledged it would change everything? I woke up this morning at about 6 a.m. worried about the strangest things. Like, did I give the wrong advice to a client? Did I do this? Did I do this? I'm like, who am I being? Or who does this belong to? So don't forget those tools when things start popping up that seem a little weird for yourself. What if they're actually not yours? What if you are picking up on the anxiety of the planet or the peoples on the planet? Oh, hi, Katie. Oh, tell your mom hi for me. I don't have Sean around. Otherwise, I'd pull him over here so he could say hi to her. I'm so glad you got to see her. Hello, Grace. Thanks for getting on here, ladies. So appreciate you. So grateful. So we were talking about energy that doesn't belong to you that you are picking up on. But that was the strangest thing to wake up that early in the morning and oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, this is so not cool. So return to sender, right? Who does this belong to? Is this mine or somebody else's? Darn the fuzz up my nose. Sorry, it's not very sexy. And then return to sender with consciousness attached. So you can acknowledge it, identify it, and move it along. I actually decided to get out of bed and drink my coffee. So I didn't actually lay there and try to go back to sleep. But that was an interesting experience. And so I've kind of been noticing a little bit more of that with my Doberman too. So what are you aware of? And what can you acknowledge that if you acknowledged it could change everything? So a couple questions, a couple more tools. Oh yeah, that tool I've been talking about this entire couple months of this holiday season, expand out. Expand out, expand out, expand out as big as the room you're in, expand out as big as the state. Let's just do this. Let's just do it. As big as the country, as big as the world, forward, back, up, down, all directions, as big as the universe and beyond. And the bodies go, oh, good. Because those contracted, wound up beings in the bodies make the bodies uncomfortable. And the more you're expanded, the more it allows your animals to also expand with you. Because remember, they live up here with you. They are psychic beings. They will contract with you. They will expand with you. They are enmeshed with you. So how are you being? Okay, topic for today. That was just like a little prelude. Oh, Miss Sarah made it. Hello. Hello, hello. Are you with your mom too? I know all the moms, which is just, I just love it. Stories is the topic of today, and situations or stories. So which one is it for you? So I kind of define a situation as a one-time thing, a two-time thing, that she's cooking, mom's cooking, that we consider happens to us. Nothing ever actually happens to us. You create it all. Okay, so let's just be aware that you create everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, the ease, the joy, the glory, you create it all. And when you create something that is more the good, the bad, the ugly, you have choice to change that. You have choice to change that in every 10 seconds. Okay, so what if those are situations that you created? You can create a situation to get an awareness, to learn something, to pivot, to, okay, there are those things. And then there's the stories. The stories that you live. No action in live. Living is an action. But the stories you live. I do this because this is what my childhood was like. I get this type of dog because that's the type of dog I've always had. I stay in this relationship because my mother always stayed in these relationships. What is your story? And how much is that story limiting your life and living? And have you actually identified those stories? Identified them, acknowledged them, go, ah ha ha ha, okay. It may be some different details, but the theme is the same. And for what reason do I keep creating the same theme, the same story, over and over and over again? What do I get out of it? And not everyone, but what do you get out of it? Like, really get honest with yourself about what you get out of your story. Do you get to play the victim? Do you get to be Miss or Mr. Pathetic? Do you get acknowledgement for do you get acknowledgement for something that you require? It could be so many different things, but what do you get out of your story? And it could be not so good stuff. We talk about piles of poo a lot, right? And talk about piles of poo and how much more comfortable we would rather sit in the pile of poo that we know than the crystal clean waters of a pool over there that we don't know anything about. We are more comfortable with the ugly poo pile that we know. Hi, Keisha. Thank you for coming. So what is your poo pile? Have you sat down we all have this space of COVID right now. I am enjoying the shit out of the space of COVID right now. I get to see all these clients, and I am creating all this other stuff just for me. I've actually taken a step back on some of my business stuff and enjoying the space of COVID. So what if you took 10 minutes and looked at the stories of your life, the repeating themes of your life, and what do you get out of them? What pile of shit is here that I would rather sit in than look to changing? And it can just be for you. You don't have to discuss it with anybody else. But what if you did acknowledge that just for yourself? And then, okay, this is the crazy shit, okay? Celebrate it. Really. Like, acknowledge and celebrate it. And then, only if you'd like to. Only if it would create better or different or more, choose something else. But what if we celebrated it? Because how many people sit down and acknowledge, this is my poo pile of a story. I always manage to create XYZ, and I always manage to get out of it by the skin of my teeth, and I always manage to get it all done by 11:59 p.m. Look at me. Look how powerful I am. Look how hard I make my life. That's my pile of poo. I'm going to celebrate that. I'm going to celebrate acknowledging what my pile of poo is. LOL. Redirecting. Not redirecting. Or you could redirect. Redirect. Redecorating the shop pit. Okay, I think I need to, I don't know. I swear I haven't been drinking. I swear. Redecorating the shit pile. There we go. Because, okay, different variations on the story, right? But the underlying theme is the same. In Access, we talk about dating the same asshole in a different suit, right? In a different body. What if it's always the same theme, just a slight variation? Maybe there's a Christmas wreath on the door. Maybe there's a scented candle. Hey, maybe there's a scented candle and you sprinkle some chocolate on top of the poo pile. So you don't really notice the poo pile, right? It's not really the same story because a couple of the characters have shifted just a little bit. So is it a situation or a story? Is it something that you stepped into that is a one-off, or is that underlying theme? Underlying theme that you have allowed to drive your life and living. It's that autopilot. We talk about that here and there, right? The autopilot. The shit pile autopilot. There's got to be something fun there. But yeah, how much do we just sit in our shit pile and let the shit direct us? That autopilot. That story that you know so well, that you know you can get out of, again, by the skin of your teeth, right? And then you can say, look how powerful I am. I got out of it like this. Right? Yes, even if it's a good story. What else is possible beyond a good story? And I think even like what I've been saying, like get out of it by the skin of your teeth, like you completed this project just by the hair of the chin, the hair of your chinny chin chin. Look at me, I am great, I am awesome. But could that have actually been done with a lot more ease? Could that actually be something that you wiggle your nose and it's just done, and it doesn't have to be so stressful and full of drama and trauma? Like, how much of the story is just making sure you have enough drama and trauma involved so you're interested? And that's a good story, right? If you get all the details right, and this person did this, and this person did this, and this is why I couldn't do this, or I had to do it this way just so, like, how often do we keep our stories in place because they're interesting? And this doesn't mean that your life sucks by any means. It just means that you haven't become aware of who you be. And you may come up with, you may take some time. You may like, oh, this is my story and this is my story. This is a great story. I love this story. I do this story a lot. This gets me XYZ. Oh, this is a bad story. I haven't done that story. Well, maybe I have here. There. Oh, maybe. Okay, cool. And you don't have to change anything. But what if that's one more step on the journey of consciousness? You being aware of you, which actually allows you to be more of you in this world, which what if being you changes the world? Simple. There is this buzz that is like driving me batty. So I apologize. Keep messing with my nose. I think it came from this. It's a story. We'll get over it. Ease, joy, and glory. So I dare you. Oh, Sarah's been drinking. Lucky. I have not. Anywho. I just show up because I crack myself up. I do hope you all have a good time when you do join me here, my magical friends. I always have a good time. I'm enjoying the snot out of the snowflakes. I love talking about being you, changing the world. Because what if that is the most simple, ease-filled thing you can do? And it's the least talked about. It's the least valued thing on this planet right now. So I dare you this holiday season. Be you. And see what shows up. And what if being you is kind and sweet and funny? And what if you won't kill anybody? And what if you won't mouth off? And what if all of these things you think is going to be wrong or bad or horrible, that you think is going to show up if you're actually being you? What if it's actually a big fat lie you bought? And what if being you changes the world and is the biggest kindness you can be to yourself and to everybody around you? And you can acknowledge so much and still have a wonderful time with your family, still enjoy the holidays. What if it's not? And I think this is one of the things that this reality drives me a bit batty about, is it's always black or white. And what if being you is a crap ton of gray? Plus all the other colors of the rainbow. But what if it's not either or? What if you can be it all? And you can be anything you choose at any moment. All right, my magical friends. Anything come up for you guys? Any other questions? What's going on? If you feel the urge to post anything in the comments, even if you're listening. Well, I'm usually listening. Even if you're watching this at another time, you can pop some stuff in the comments. Facebook lets me know, and we keep an eye on these. There's actually quite a library of live chats that you can go back and check on the page. And then we are in the process. Ooh, that's the one thing we didn't talk about this morning, Keisha. Getting them onto the website. So they are cataloged there too, along with all the podcasts. So I actually didn't mention the podcast earlier. So if anyone did catch Friday's show with my dear friend Autumn, we talked about stories and situations, because I usually carry that over to the TLC. It was a really fun show with one of my BFFs in this lifetime on this planet. It was very sweet. And you'll actually learn a little bit more about me. So, and of course Autumn, and she's a wonderful coach and mentor, and wrote a fabulous book. And she talks about following the energy as following the nudges. So sometimes the language is a little different. And that's why I like having guests on the podcast, is they say things differently. And maybe that day you hear it. Because you hear it or you get it when you get it. And sometimes, and this happens to me in class all the time. I've been going to classes for 10 years, and Gary or Dane or another facilitator will say something, and it's like that hand to the forehead, like, oh, that's what they've been saying for 8 years. Oh, got it. You get it when you get it. And sometimes it takes somebody else saying it a little differently for you to get it. So a lot of the same conversations with different people, you hear it differently. So check out other podcasts, check out other people, check out how they talk about following the energy, or, being you, changing the world, or, how the universe has your back. Check it all out. Take from anything and everyone what works for you, and dump the rest, because what if you do know? And that takes me to our call tonight. It's our mastery class. Tonight, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You do need to register, and it's not too late. We do need your email, and then you'll get the Zoom login. So if you have a little downtime, a little hot toddy, and want to join me, that would be awesome. We're talking about, what do you know? Simply, what do you know? And bring your questions, bring your conversations. I would love for it to be interactive. I would love to play with your energies and my energies and see what we can create about what we truly know. And we're the only ones that know it for ourselves. So that is tonight. drandysworld.com/magic, MAGIC, should get you to the registration form. So not too late. Hop on there, pop in your email. You'll get the call-in details about an hour before we go live. 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to warn y'all, though, Miss Keisha will not be with me, so I have to, run the Zoom. So be kind. It should be okay. I've been practicing, but be kind. Sam has lots to say today, I guess. He just jumped down from the shelf. All right. Podcast this week happens to fall on Christmas Day, so it is a replay. The topic, I don't know the exact title, but the topic is, what is your animal waiting for you to choose? That if you chose it, would change everything. It's quite the question. It's quite confronting. It's quite confusing to people. Like, my animal's waiting for me to choose something? What? I'll feed them in an hour. I'll choose that. No. It's much grander. It's much more energetic. It's much more asking of the universe and allowing for that energy, not an answer, but for that energy to come back to you. What are our animals all waiting for us to choose? All over this planet, that if we chose it, would change everything. Like, what do our animals know that we are truly capable of? That we are denying, we are ignoring, we are being stupid about, that if we started to choose for us, would change everything. Keisha will be sending her mega love, which might just save us all. So thank you, dear. So that is this Friday. It is a replay, so it is archived on Inspired Choices Network, so you can catch that anytime. But it is being played at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Christmas Day. So, if you need a break from Netflix or a break from the family, I'm sure there's a bunch of tools in there to get you through the dinner. Or you can catch it at another time on any of your favorite platforms. All right. Anything else, Miss Keisha? I will be back here next Tuesday. I think that's the 29th. I will be 45 years old by then. So maybe I'll have some new awareness to share. I don't think so. It's funny. I always thought it was funny growing up when people are like, like adults, like these people that look old and decrepit to me, are like, I don't know how old I am. And I'm like, God, I'm 7. How do you not know? You gotta know. You gotta know these things because people ask you and you gotta like, and it's such a big deal. Yeah, now I know because like math gets really hard and it really doesn't matter. And so I've looked back at that over years and I'm like, now I get it. Now I get why people have no idea how old they are. Or they have to stop and think about it. Or they find a birth certificate and realize they're a couple years older. You know, it's like, right? Because it is what you make of it, right? So anyway, I happen to remember, so I told y'all. And then we'll be back here, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll do another TLC. Maybe we'll look into your knowing a little bit, huh? And what are your animals waiting for you to choose it? If and when you choose it, could change everything. We'll look at that a little bit more. We'll look at the energetics of that. And of course, asking questions, because we always, ask a question, see what shows up, change the energy, be you. Even when it gets a little more difficult, like the holiday season. All right, I think I have rambled on long enough today. I want to thank you again. So grateful for all of you here live and in the future. Thank you for joining me, listening to me. Maybe something popped for you today, something sparked you to look at something a little differently. How cool is that? And what else is truly possible now? Thank you, Katie, and Grace. And until next week, my magical, magical friends, how much fun can you? And how much fun can you have with your animals? Mwah. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. And Merry Christmas. Mwah.